Hello, my name is Bertil Lindblad. I am the director for the UNAIDS office here in New York, and UNAIDS, that's the joint United Nations program on HIV/AIDS. And I'm honored to be talking to you now gathered for the World MDG Summit. And I would like to speak a bit about the Millennium Development Goals, and particularly there is one of the goals, MDG number 6, which calls for halting the spread of HIV by 2015. And here this is really critical because AIDS, it's one of the defining issues and problems of our time. Right now there are around 33 million people globally living with HIV. There are 7,500 new infections every day. And here this is critical because if we cannot halt and eventually stop this epidemic, that will also severely impact other Millennium Development Goals. We have goals, for example, for reducing child mortality and also a goal on maternal mortality. These are all interlinked. And just to give you a few examples how progress is also possible. For example, last year there were 3 million people in low-income and middle-income countries who had access to antiretroviral treatment for HIV infection. This is great progress. However, the number of new infections still outnumbers the people who are put on treatment. So we really need to keep up the response, and also how we fare on HIV will impact the other goals as well. For example, education has also been severely impacted by several facts. For example, in many African countries, a large number of teachers have HIV. Many have died, and that has caused a shortage of teachers. We have similar situations with shortage of healthcare workers. We have also an education impact in terms of orphans in many African countries, where girls have had to leave school in order to become heads of households when parents have died of AIDS. So the message is that we really have to look at this as a package, these goals, and also now is the time to really look at this as a long-term fight, so to speak. We are in a world with AIDS, and this will be with us for generations to come. This is why there is a need to have sustained political commitment to all Millennium Development Goals, including the specific goal on HIV. And this also, by the way, links to malaria and tuberculosis. And for example, if we talk about tuberculosis, there is a serious problem with HIV and TB co-infection. So here you see another direct linkage between the various goals and what they stand for. And we also have to secure long-term financing from national governments, and also in terms of development cooperation. And now, of course, this is something to keep in mind when we are facing a global financial crisis. So we have to look at efficient ways to, as much as possible, keep this momentum going, because we have 2015 as the deadline, so to speak, for achieving the Millennium Development Goals. And finally, in terms of AIDS specifically, there is also the Declaration of Commitment, which was adopted by all countries at the special session of the General Assembly here in New York in 2001. And this declaration outlines the specific commitments that the world made at that time to combat HIV and AIDS in terms of prevention, treatment, care, and support. Thank you.